What's up? What's up? What's up?
Yo, yo, yo.
What's up, you guys? Happy Thursday. I promise you, it feels like today was Tuesday, but it's Thursday and my week is over and it
We
just
over with,
started.
baby.
It just
OB.
started. That's for productivity for the new year, right? No productivity the first week. What does that say about our new year? Oh my goodness.
I'm still in 2023. I ain't gonna lie to you. I ain't came over to 2023.
That's the problem. That's why I'm not as productive as I need to be.
I mean, what I do, I gotta do what you do.
It does. It has everything. It directly affects everything that I do. Welcome, you guys, to our Fearless Podcast Investing. Our Fearless Investing Podcast.
Bloopers.
Hey, that's why this is live. Absolutely. So, you guys come on in the room, share this podcast with people who are struggling when it comes to knowing exactly what their goals are going to be for 2024. They are needing some motivation, and this year just got started. They are trying to find some clarity in what it is that they're doing, overcome some fears. Share this with those that you know. And I'm so excited. We got Gabe Long that's backstage, and I'm just excited to hear more about him and find out what type of fears did he have.
Yes. Also, if you are an investor and you're looking for off-market discounted properties,
Absolutely.
this the man. So a lot of times we call them wholesalers, and you don't really know who's real, who's not. Mm-hmm. Gabe in New Western is the real deal.
Absolutely.
So make sure you stay tuned. We'll be right back.
We'll be right back.
Yo, what's going on? What's going on? Listen, it's Keith Everett, Real Estate Diddy. I'm right here at the Simple, Sexy Flipping Conference. I gave 10 ways on how to find off-market properties. If you're somebody trying to learn how to use the bank, find private money lenders, and knowing how you can fund the properties, you need to be here.
I would definitely recommend this event to anybody, especially if you're looking to get started in this business, because sometimes you just don't know where to go, and sometimes you don't know how to get started. And sometimes it could be the reverse. You got the motivation, but you don't have the education, or you have the education, you don't have the motivation. So sometimes it's being in certain rooms with certain people that'll kind of uplift you or inspire you or get you moving, get you thinking. But more importantly, this is the kind of room you want to be in, especially if you're a newbie.
Let's go. How are you today, Gabe?
Oh, I'm wonderful. I thank you so much for having me on. I'm not an excellent orator or a public speaker, so I don't do these things a lot, but I like what you guys are doing, so I'm happy.
We're not either.
Did you not hear how I just said off-market discounted properties?
I love it, man. It's like you read it right out of our playbook here.
Like, man, we are nowhere near professionals. We just gonna do what we can do, and if they like it, they like it. If they don't, just keep it to themselves. Right.
I like that. I'm gonna put that in my book for 2024.
Yes.
Definitely.
Well, where we want to start is we kind of got a two-part question that you're going to answer in one. First part is, who is Gabe? the second question is, who is New Western?
Okay. I guess we can't answer that at once. You know, I'm from not too far from here on the Mississippi-Alabama lines where I grew up. I went to school at the University of Alabama. Directly after that, I moved to Atlanta. I got into real estate in 2008 as an appraiser. Became a licensed agent in 2013 and found New Western in 2017. All brokers in New Western start in the same seat, which is in the sales role. It's a consultant role to work with investors, moving through to acquisitions. And then I found management opportunity in Atlanta. And then when I wanted to become a broker, I zeroed in on Birmingham. I opened this office in 2022. And, we've been growing since then. Who's New Western? New Western was founded in 2008 in Texas. Since then, we've grown to over 60 offices nationwide in 23 states. And what we do is pretty simple. It's opportunity for investors and as much opportunity as we can give them. We've got a full acquisitions team in every office. We're boots on the ground in every office. And it's to provide as many opportunities for local, out-of-state investors, as many opportunities, as many properties as we can that are discounted, that we've analyzed, that we've walked. There's no virtual anything going on. And much more than that, not just the inventory. We've got a platform that many hard money lenders will shop to our investors through. We don't add any points for that. So there's a lot of value add there with a single loan officer that can show you multiple products from multiple lenders, one application, one credit pull, all of that kind of thing. And also we have a title company. It's not here in Alabama yet, but it's growing. And what we want to do is be the source for investment properties for investors. If they've got questions, it's a marketplace nationally for these investors to find properties to rehab. So that's who we are. It's a consultant style. We are relationship based. Our sales agents make strong relationships with these investors. And I think the fact that 70% of our business is repeat business really speaks to that.
Absolutely. I agree.
Sweet.
All right. You touched on something. You said that you left Atlanta to start the Birmingham market. Like, what kind of fears did you have? Because Atlanta and Birmingham are complete opposites when it comes to real estate.
I think you put the nail on the head. A lot of the initial or a head on the nail. Is that right? I think
that's okay. We got it.
Yeah. I think the biggest fear early was the market knowledge. I mean, I might have grown up near here and gone to school here, but I had no idea about real estate back then. I was an expert in the Atlanta field. I've closed many hundreds of transactions over there. And it took about 5 months of intense market research before we pulled the trigger. I had wanted to be here because of personal family. I love the area. I've been here, for years and in visits. And I love Birmingham. I love the food. I love the people. But was it a smart business decision? It was about 5 months of calling local brokers, of getting the MLS, diving into it, seeing what's going on economically. And in the end, a lot of those fears were assuaged at that point. Outside of just the unknown of the market, it was, will New Western be accepted in a smaller, mid-sized market like Birmingham, where there's no brand recognition? When I started in Atlanta with New Western, they'd already been there for nearly 11 years. It wasn't hard. You said New Western, and 90% of the investors either had done business with us or at least heard about us. So here it's been, I wouldn't even say a struggle, but early on it was a fear that we're going to have to coach a whole city worth of investors on our process, who we are, build that trust. Because, we close 1,000 properties a month nationwide. Nobody here has heard of us. So I think the best way that we've been able to alleviate that is to do business the right way, be transparent in all of our transactions on every side, and provide the best properties that we possibly can for the investor buy base here. And it's worked out. I mean, the team's grown. We've done, it's opportunities to grow the team in in terms of agents as well. I need more people because we've got more and more business coming in, and it's been very exciting. But those were a couple of the largest fears for me in opening the Birmingham office.
Sweet. So we don't never say our name. I'm Antonio. This is Ashley. We're the Denmarks. But
I know y'all's names.
but what my question is, when I first heard about you guys, I was like, who the hell is them?
Who are they?
Who is this new company out here making people sign stuff and doing stuff totally different than the Birmingham market?
Yeah.
We're investors. Our number one thing is buying houses.
Mm-hmm.
Our number two things is helping people get their first property.
Yeah.
So a lot of our students would come to us and they're like, have you ever heard of New Western? Yeah. And I'm like, yes, New Western is real. They are a legit company. So a lot of times,
yeah.
Go Gabe.
No, I was going to say that, I've spoken with a lot of GMs, brokers that have opened offices in new markets, and it's a struggle in those first couple of months, especially. And it speaks to exactly what you're saying. In the end, the process works. Our process works in Las Vegas. It works in Florida. It works in Pennsylvania. It works in Georgia. And it's working in Alabama. It is different than a traditional, what you would think of as a wholesale, or we're all licensed agents. I'm a licensed broker, but we don't offer any brokerage services. I mean, I don't represent the buyer. So it is very different and can be confusing. That's why training is so important for these agents on my team, so that they can explain it appropriately.
Agree.
I appreciate you saying that, because that was a big hurdle.
Yeah. And I think the agents have done a great job with communicating it, because I had to test it out myself. Like, okay, can we negotiate this? Like, what are we doing? What is this for? That makes sense. Okay.
We welcome those questions. We welcome that. I mean, we're not trying to hide anything. Anything in a transaction, we're here to make sure everybody is taken care of and everybody knows every piece of the transaction.
Absolutely. And I feel like you guys have done a great job when it comes to that.
Thank you.
Why be a broker though? Like, why not have a regular 9 to 5? Like, what kind of fulfillment do you get for providing these houses, being a broker, all the headache, what kind of fulfillment is there outside of the headache?
Oh, what a great question. And I love how you phrase that, outside of the headache. I feel like the headache really is part and parcel with it. I mean, it's the struggle is what makes the juice worth the squeeze, right? I mean, it's but to your real question, which I think you're probably asking, what meaning do I find in it, or why do I do this? It's changed, to be quite honest. When I was a sales agent and an acquisition agent in Atlanta, for me, I loved building the relationships with investors. I loved the analytics on the acquisition side, where you dive into a year's worth of data just to figure out what the buyer expectations for that property is in terms of pricing, what the actual value will be after repairs, outside of just drawing a half-mile circle, but really diving into the neighborhood, looking at the pictures of these companies. All of that analytical stuff really appealed to me when I was just an agent, or I say just an agent, when I was an agent. The relationships with the investors, which I was selfishly also used to learn investing myself and become an expert investor. So I know it's something you guys are really big on, which is lean on your network, and your network will really grow your own knowledge. That's all important stuff. Now that I'm the broker, and really in Atlanta, I'd moved into a sales manager role for a couple of years, training the sales team before I took over Birmingham. Now that I moved to Birmingham and in that sales manager role, and now in the broker role, it has been to provide opportunities, not just to these investors, but to neighborhoods, to parts of the city that need it. But the real one is my team. I want to provide financial and personal growth to the team members that work with New Western in the Birmingham market. I don't like to say they work for me. We work together. And it's really right now that is at the top of the list, is to make sure my team is going through incredible personal growth and to provide them the opportunity at New Western that was provided to me when I walked through those doors in Atlanta, and it changed my life. And I want to see that happen for my team, which is happening. So it's very exciting and fulfilling.
Gotcha. I see some people commenting, and I know one of the people who commented, and it hit me in my head. And my coach tell me all the time, you can't talk too high. You got to bring it down. We just assume that everybody listening know what wholesaling is. So,
well, I can tell you, we don't like to say that we're wholesalers because we have so much more that we offer. A portion of our business is wholesaling, but if you'd like the breakdown, we do things a little bit differently. Other people do this as well, but in the end, we're looking for distressed properties that are in need of rehab. I've got an acquisitions team that finds these properties. New Western or our holding company will purchase these properties with our own internal funds and sell them to an investor the same day. So we're going to negotiate with a seller, talk to them about marketing that property, selling it through our marketplace. It's all in black and white. It's all transparent. We decide on a price. And then during that marketing period, we will then market it through our marketplace to the investors who are working with us. It's exclusive to those investors. We don't list it on the MLS. We don't blast it anywhere else with address. And at that point, once we find that investor, we'll go and double close it. So we'll purchase it, make sure we get a clean title, make sure it's there's no issues. We handle everything from contract to close, sell it to the investor same day at closing. I hope that was concise enough.
That was so good. The verbiage on it, the wording on it was perfect, because a lot of times people don't understand when you are buying it first and then selling it again. Mm-hmm. So I think explaining to them, yes, we're going to buy it in-house internally, but in a few hours, we're going to sell it back out.
Right.
So that they completely understand. And
I think if you sit down and have that conversation with a seller and be transparent about what you're doing, it alleviates so many headaches. I mean, I don't know. I'd love to get to know you guys and your background. I'm not sure how long you've been doing it, but it wasn't too long ago that it was par for the course that wholesalers and a lot of people I've worked with in the past are not exempt from this either, would lie to a seller and say that, hey, I'm the actual buyer, and then turn around and assign that contract, didn't have the ability to actually purchase the property. When we're buying these properties from the sellers, we're using our own internal funds. We're not pass-through funding from the end buyer. We're not waiting on that. When we sign that contract, we have every intention to purchase with our own cash.
Absolutely.
And that's a big difference. We've been doing it since 2009. And at one point, that was the way that your coaches were coaching you to wholesale.
Yeah.
Right. Presenting yourself as the buyer, not really telling the full truth. But I do think that it has shifted to where you can't really do that anymore because it's biting people.
Well, do you mind if I curse on this? Can I cuss?
Well,
okay. Your silence tells me I can't. Have you ever started a relationship with someone on a lie or bull crap, and that relationship turned out well? I haven't.
No.
Never.
No.
Never.
No.
Yeah.
So
I totally agree.
But again, I don't judge that. It was how it was coached back then. And I've worked with people further back in the career where that was the way it was done. And again, I don't judge it. It's just, I think there's a better way to do business.
So,
absolutely.
A 30-second cliff note of what Gabe said so great is they buy the property at one price. Mm-hmm. There's a markup in the middle, and they sell the property to end users. Whether you're renting the property, whether you're going to flip the property, all the time they're leaving enough room on the bone for you to still make money.
Yeah, because guess what? They can't sell it to you if it's not a deal. And I think some of your rookies may get caught up in that when it comes to investing. oh, I don't want people to make, it doesn't matter how much is made. It matters if you have enough money to do your deal, whatever your end goal is. If 30,000 is what you want to make and you reverse engineer and you're going to make 30,000, then guess what? It's the deal. If you reverse engineered and you're going to make 15,000, guess what? That's not the house for you. It's real simple.
And you skipped over a piece.
Okay.
You were saying that, to clarify, you were saying some end buyers don't like when wholesalers make a lot of money.
Yeah.
You didn't.
I said rookie investors.
Yeah.
That's not what I said. Yeah.
Well, I can tell you this: there's nothing that we do. There's nothing we do in our acquisition side that an investor couldn't do for themselves, and I may be shooting myself in the foot saying that. You know, it takes time, it takes effort, it takes a team, it takes money, it takes a vast amount of research.
Stop right there. Yeah, it takes money. I see a lot of investors and they'll try to do it, or they'll leave a company like you guys, a big wholesale company, and then they'll find out when they do it themselves, they can't do it because they don't have the money to continue marketing. And if you don't have the money to market, then you're not going to get the deals that you need to keep going. Like, the money comes to marketing at the end of the day. You got
it's an expensive enterprise, and you know, it might not just be the money. Sometimes it's time and it's the wherewithal. I mean, so we just don't want to do that, and I get that. You know, for those investors, we can be simply a source of inventory. For brand new investors, you know, we've worked with so many. We've got a huge vendor network. We can help in sourcing the property. We can help in financing that property. We've got plenty of contractors that we've vetted. We can help you get it repaired. And I'm sure that we've got a huge enough network to find plenty of listing agents willing to take that flip on to market. Absolutely. So A to Z, I'm happy to help. We're a brokerage. We're never going to charge you a commission. We don't offer brokerage services. We use our brokerage, our licensing for analysis, for contracts. We use, you know, Alabama contracts, the state promulgated. And also, I think it's nice to be licensed because you get held to a higher ethical standard than, you know, maybe a virtual wholesaler out of Idaho trying to do a deal they've never had.
I'm going to take us left, but bring us back, okay?
Okay.
All right, go for it. Sorry.
A high-level question,
chat.
Bring us back, okay? Are you afraid that wholesaling is going to go away?
No. I mean, I'm not afraid that if that happens, we're going to be affected negatively. I don't think New Western is going to hurt in that aspect. I don't think it will. I actually approve of most, if not all, of the regulations that have already begun and more that are coming, in that it is a push towards transparency. I like this wholesale affidavit we have to sign. I want the seller and the buyer to know that what we're doing. And if it down the road, if it happens that a wholesaler has to have the cash and purchase and resell, well, we're already ahead of the curve on that. So it's not going to affect us negatively. You know, it's not a fear for me because I think that we have a robust enough process that it's not a situation where we're going to get tagged. We have a full legal department, a full corporate headquarters that are always on top of this, looking at upcoming regulations and trying to be way ahead of it because we want to do business the right way.
Sweet.
Absolutely. Go ahead.
What? Go on.
I was just going to talk about, I think that's really important to be on the forefront. And that's why you don't have any fear, because you're seeking the knowledge and the education before it even happens. Another thing that you guys are doing is you're hitting it from both angles. So you're not wholesalers. At the end of the day, you're agents.
Yeah. I mean, we are agents. Yeah. I mean, you're right. We are licensed agents. When an investor, you know, whether we reach out to them or they reach out to us for the first time, we're not going to have them sign any kind of exclusive rights agreement. They're never going to owe us a commission or buy if they buy a house elsewhere or if they buy from us. We make all our money on exactly what Antonio said, which is the difference between what we buy and sell the house for. So now, while we don't represent these, we are a source of inventory and consultants. I mean, we take training very seriously. All of our agents, we train weekly. When they come in, there's 2 weeks onboarding. And I work in the office with them and we hit it hard. So there's a wealth of experience, a wealth of knowledge, but also the institutional knowledge of New Western that's been around since 2008, opened up in one of the worst markets in real estate history in the United States, and thrived there and then grew enormously and is continuing to grow. I mean, it's that kind of apparatus that our team has behind us, and that really helps with the fear of that kind of thing. Also, I know, the owner, I know the CEO, I know the founder for New Western, and this is not just to make us money, right? I mean, there are goals here involved with improving neighborhoods, providing value to local investors, all of these things that I can put my trust in and know that we're not going to position ourselves to injure the public in any kind of way. So because we're not positioning ourselves in that way, any kind of regulations that come down the pipe, any kind of anything, legislation or anything like that puts a stop to wholesaling, it's not going to really damper us because we positioned ourselves in the right way.
Okay. Remember, if you're watching and you got questions, make sure you put your questions in the chat. If you want to ask Gabe directly a question, feel free to ask. He is an open book. You ain't gonna hold nothing back. If you know it, he'll tell you. So make sure you put your questions in the group, whether it's about New Western, wholesaling, anything in that arena. Make sure you put your questions in there. I got a question. I'm gonna throw it back to you.
Okay.
Roughly, and we touched on this earlier from a marketing standpoint.
Sure.
Roughly, and I know y'all have meetings about it. How much are you guys spending on marketing a month?
Ooh.
I said I was an open book. It's a few different ways, man. It's hard to give you a hard number because so many of these lines blur between each other. We do direct to seller marketing, and it's SEO, it's things like that. We don't do a whole lot of mailers, and we've got a full MDR team in Texas that's also doing marketing that's not under my purview. So I couldn't give you a definitive number. I will say that we don't discriminate on our buy sources. I just saw a question here from a user about wholesalers trying to sell through New Western. We will buy from wholesalers. We will buy direct to seller. We will buy from listing agents. We'll buy from property managers. For us, it's all about, does the deal make sense, and is the seller aware of what's happening? So in terms of marketing, our acquisitions team is totally every day out there lead generating direct to seller, using their own money as well, not just our corporate dollars. So for me to give you a lot of it's wrapped up nationally too. So for me to give you a hard number on what we spend on Birmingham would probably be a fool's errand, but I can say that we like to think of ourselves as a funnel when it comes to the purchasing side, not necessarily the selling side. But what I mean by that is an investor can get on Facebook Marketplace and find these deals. An investor can spend thousands of dollars marketing direct to seller. An investor can go to these meetups, go to the individual brokerages, meet with listing agents to see their inventory as well. But I've got a full team doing that every day. And so we're going to funnel those deals down to the best ones at the best price, negotiate them for our buyers, and then put them through our marketplace. So for me to say, $50,000 a month or something like that, I would hesitate to say with any kind of certainty, because the lines are blurred so much in what we're doing, and the lines between my marketing dollars and Atlanta's and Nashville 1, 2, and 3 and Chattanooga office, and it can be it's a situation where all that money comes from one pot, so it's difficult to say.
Gotcha.
Yeah. It's really difficult when you're doing it from that level, even when you're just doing it in-house. If you have so many different marketing channels, right, it's hard to measure all of them, because we were
I can tell you, I'm a coach, not an accountant, so I'm here to
coach. See, that's why he asked that question, because he's an accountant by nature.
Well, Antonio, after this, I'll be happy to put you on the line to our marketing department, man. You can give him a chat.
It's okay. But I do want people to understand that it takes money to do what you guys are doing.
Oh,
you just can't wake up and say, "Hey, I want to do this." And
I'm going to take over
a whole lot of.
I'm going to create a whole market in the Birmingham market just for 2024 because I woke up, I felt like this morning.
Yes.
Yeah.
With
No,
$100.
it's money, and it's dedicated people. It's dedicated people that believe in the process, that believe in the product, and believe in the city.
Totally agree.
Absolutely.
Right.
Absolutely.
You got a question?
You had one. No, you didn't. Okay.
Well,
Go
I
ahead.
do got a question.
Okay.
For what are some of the mistakes you see from new investors trying to get into the market?
That's a great question.
Sure.
I think a lot of mistakes that newer investors make is it can come in like two flavors, right? One flavor is a leap before you look situation. Why don't we sign a contract? I'm ready to go. I've got a little bit of money, but they haven't got their finances in order. They don't know how to analyze. They don't have a team. They purchase a way too much house or way too distressed of a house. I think brand new investors should really stick to easier rehabs. Nobody's going to get rich on their first 1, 2, 3 deals. You need opportunities to test the contractors. You need opportunities to test lenders. You need opportunities to test title companies. And you don't want to tie up all your time, money, bandwidth, brain power, and your financial future on this house that needs $150,000 worth of work. You can go you dig yourself a hole pretty quick that way. So I think newer investors, that's one of the sort of flavors I've seen is leap before you look. The exact opposite side of that coin is another really common mistake, which is analyze until you've lost the opportunity. And you got to strike that balance. You stand still. You don't do the thing, right? You stand on the sidelines. And I think a lot of people probably felt this way before the big market surge during 2021, 2020, 2021. And now we've come back full circle where I think the future, especially, in 2024 even, the market, I'm very optimistic about where this is headed. So if I were in the market, which I am, I'd be buying right now, So again, I think that it's sort of a two-faceted or two different styles of mistake. And one of them is, obviously taking on too much. And the other one is being fearful and unable to take the first step.
Totally agree.
Gotta get off the sideline and get into the game.
Get in the game. I tell our students all the time, if that first project is more than 35,000 in rehab, I would be real nervous for them.
Especially if they're not doing it with a partner that has experience.
Right. Yeah.
Yes. Like don't go out there and get this $60,000-$70,000 rehab.
It surely don't do 100,000.
You don't do 100,000 if you don't even have a crew. You don't know what the financing look like. Don't do it. Like that's a recipe for failure, right?
And I think most people, that first contractor that you start with, by the time you're in this game for a few years, a lot of times that's not the contractor that you go to. Like that's just because you didn't have time to vet that first time. You just said, oh, this is my friend. They did my personal house. They did a good job. But that's not your investor contractor. Those are two different prices.
In my experience, it doesn't take a couple of years to switch contractors. Sometimes
it's usually after that first project or in that first project.
Yeah. Completely agree.
Absolutely.
Okay.
I mean, there's levels to it, right? I mean, someone comes in and they're brand new and they get taken for a ride or sold a bill of goods and they pick up a property that they think needs 50 and it really needs 90. And those hard money payments, the juice is running, and it can be tough. To dig out of it.
It can be tough. It can be tough.
Absolutely.
So
it's almost like you need some sort of guidance, some sort of group to help, maybe a source that's trusted.
You need a community. You do. You really do need a community. Absolutely.
That's the shortcut anyway.
Yeah. And you can do it by all means. You can do it on your own.
Sure.
Just expect you're gonna pay the piper either way. You're either gonna pay it in mistakes or are you gonna pay it in lessons before you make those mistakes?
Yeah, somebody's got to learn the lessons. You can either
Somebody's
already learned it. You can learn from them, or you can learn it yourself.
Yeah.
I totally agree. So, do you guys know which property we're going to walk yet for the property walkthrough?
Not yet. It'll be our inventory goes quickly. We don't have them for long. We usually only negotiate a 3 to 5 day marketing period because they typically sell within a day. So when we get closer to the day, I'll look at our inventory. Maybe I'll negotiate, or one of my agents, I'll talk to them about negotiating a little bit longer so we can hold off on releasing it through the marketplace so we can get you guys through. Or get all of us through, not you guys, but all
absolutely.
of us.
Yeah, all of us.
So look, I want to make sure we touch on that. You guys, at the Simple Sexy Flipping Conference, we're going to do a bus tour. And instead of going to one of our projects, what we're going to do is we're going to one of Gabe's projects. Well, not projects, but houses. Mm-hmm. And the cool thing about this, Derek's going to walk it. He's going to take us on a whole journey of what needs to be done, what inspectors are looking at beforehand, so that way you understand before you even put in the offer exactly what's needed. But on top of that, you can put in the offer. It's for sale. Yeah. So if you're really ready to take advantage of 2024, guess what? It's the second week of January. So you have no excuses not to hit the ground running. We're going to show you what a deal looks like. And guess what? Gabe is going to deliver a deal. We're going to show you how to get the funding you need for it. Darius said he's going to literally run the play to do $1 million in funding, to show you how to get $1 million in funding. So guess what? We're going to get the funding for it. Rowdy's going to be there to show you from a rehab expert. He's been doing rehab since the age of 14, to where he's managing it virtual now. Like, there's levels to this. Like Gabe said, he's going to show you literally how to take that rehab, how to make sure your system's in place, your numbers in place, so that you can get through it and get to it and go through the next and get to the next. Yeah,
totally agree. Just to piggyback on that, if you didn't come to the conference in August, one of the new investors that was at the conference that did the property walkthrough bought that property.
Bought the property.
So a part of what we're trying to do is provide opportunities for you to get off the sideline.
Yeah.
We're trying to take some of those excuses away.
Fears.
Some of those fears that you have, so that you have an understanding of it can be done. Like, the only thing holding you back is you.
Somebody's going to make that money. Might as well be you.
Right.
Might as well be you.
Right. All right. Tell me this. What's your 2024 goals as it relates to New Western? Like, what are your goals in the Birmingham market?
Thank you. I want, well, first let's start with the team. Right now I've got a team of 13. I would like to have grow that team by 3 agents every quarter. So I'd like to end the year with over 20. And I'd like parity between my teams, which means roughly the same amount of acquisition agents versus disposition or sales agents. That's just a team dynamic, but also I think it will show the growth of the office and where Birmingham is as a city. Also, just in terms of production, I would like to begin to close between 35 and 50 properties per month by Q3. That's a big goal for this office. Right now, we're about a step below that. I don't want to get into too much specifics, but that's kind of opportunities we want to provide for these investors. It's 35 to 50 properties they can purchase every month. And that's where we would like to be every month. Those are my biggest ones. Outside of that, just selfishly right now, when I opened in 2022, we got sort of a workspace in Hoover that's a little far from city center. I got it because it was kind of cheap, and I knew it was going to be temporary. So by Q3, I want my permanent office, and I'm going to speak it into existence here.
That's right.
Ain't nothing wrong with that. Ain't nothing wrong with that.
I've got some goals I want this team to achieve before I will really start searching for that. But I think we can get it done in Q1.
Let's go.
Sounds good. Don't forget, if you got questions, drop your questions in there or comments. One thing that I wanted to, somebody threw me off with let's go.
Let's go.
I lost my train of thought.
Okay. Let me ask you this. What does a normal day look like for you? Like what does a day look like for Gabe?
It looks very different than it did just a couple of years ago when I was in the field more. But today, normal day, I'm usually in office by about 7 a.m. and I'm going over my non-negotiables for the day, what I have to get done. After that, I'll prioritize and schedule the rest of the day. There's meetings, trainings, Monday, Wednesday, Friday. We meet every morning, or we meet those mornings as a team to discuss goals, to discuss properties, to analyze together. Tuesdays is day for sales training. Thursday is a day for acquisitions training. And it's constantly being available to the team to coach, but also being very jealous of my time so that I can accomplish those non-negotiables I have for the day. There's a lot of phone calls to sellers, a lot of phone calls to buyers, a lot of phone calls to corporate. I mean, it's a very different role than when I was out hitting the streets, knocking on doors and slinging real estate, but it's fun to watch this growth and to be a part of it.
Oh, I'm excited. That's cool. I like how you put that non-negotiables. Like I need to put a board up that just says it and then say I'm working on those so that that way I don't get sidetracked. Because sometimes I have squirrel mentality where something else.
I mean, for me, the way I think about goal setting is obviously you have your large goals, breaking them down into bite-sized, measurable, achievable chunks. I'm sure we've all read those same books. But for me, I can't just have it as these are the things I need to do today. I have to, the verbiage I use for myself has to be hard, full stop. This is a non-negotiable that is happening today so that I can't, justify or wriggle out of it at the end of the day. I want to knock out those tasks I hate early, get that stuff done first, and then make sure my non-negotiables are finished.
I love it.
Sounds good to me. All right, this is the big question that I'm sure everybody's asking. How do they get in contact with you guys? How do they get on your buyers list?
To get on the buyers list is easy. You can, I'm not really tech savvy with this stuff, but I'd be happy to share my phone number, email address. The website's newwestern.com. There's a little sign up function. You'll click that. It'll directly ring one of my sales agents. They'll pick up the phone and call you. It's a quick discussion. Here's the thing. We don't work with any investor we haven't had at least a conversation with, and we prefer a sit-down meeting. We want to discuss goals. We want to discuss vision. We want to discuss, what you're capable of financially also, so we can put you in the right properties. And we want to make sure that our path is aligned in terms of where you want to go in the next week, in the next month, in the next year, so that down the road, there's no confusion on closings. And also we're putting the right deals. We've got you set up with the right contractors or whoever you need. All of that is what is really necessary for a strong business relationship. And that's what we're looking for. We're not looking to sell you a house. We're looking to sell you 20, 30 down for the life of the relationship, right? Now, all that to say is it's completely free. I mean, you don't have to spend anything to see our inventory or anything like that. But we do ask that at least we have a conversation, and we would prefer to sit down and get to know each other. I mean, that's how people do business, at least long-term repeat business.
Absolutely.
Sounds good. I'm out of questions. Any questions you got left, Ash?
Nope. I can't wait to see you next week, Gabe. I'm excited.
I'm excited too.
I'm excited to see you. I'm excited for everyone to meet you. I'm excited for the energy. I'm really
just be prepared for my people to bomb rush you.
Yeah, you're gonna be bombarded.
Well, listen, it's a Simply Sexy Flipping Conference. I'm plenty simple. I'm not very sexy, but we're gonna have a lot of fun.
Listen, simple sometimes can be sexy, so we'll just make it like that. That's why it's simple sexy.
If you haven't got your tickets yet, there are still a few tickets left.
Yes.
Don't ask me how many. I know they're limited. You can go to.
I haven't looked at the report. They sent it to me, but I haven't looked at the report today.
Yeah, the report is coming in probably once we get off this call to know exactly how many tickets we have.
Yes.
So if you wait till the last minute, don't be surprised you don't get in. That's
absolutely. Don't say I should have.
We'll
Wish I could have.
Agree. Gabe, you mentioned this earlier. We got Robert Howard coming to REI Live on January 16th. This is going to be a free event. Come out, meet Robert. I know Robert does a lot of business with New Western also.
That's my guy, man.
So man, come out.
You just got engaged. If you're watching, Robert, congratulations on your upcoming nuptials, man.
Yes.
Totally absolutely. Way to bring you in 2024.
Yes. Yeah. So come out, meet Robert. Ideally, Gabe them and have them a table set up too. You can meet them. We'll communicate. Get in the room, make connections. These are the type of connections you need to take your real estate game to the next level or even get in the game.
Yeah.
These are the connections you need.
Your network is your network. So guess what? Level up your network so that you can level up your net worth. So for those of you want to create generational wealth, you want to change the trajectory of your family, of yourself, it involves you getting around other people, getting around outside of your circle and really taking it to the next level. Opening up your mind, opening up your thought process, opening up the things that are stopping you from achieving your goals, and realize that someone with those same problems, someone with those same fears, accomplished them, conquered them, and so can you. All right.
That's how you get it right there, man.
You guys, thank you, Gabe. Thank you, Gabe. Thank you, Gabe.
Of course. It was a pleasure. Always a pleasure to chat with you guys, and I really had a blast. Looking forward to next week and the 16th as well with Robert.
Yes.
Let's
appreciate it.
We love you guys. Yeah. Have an amazing day.
Peace.
Yo, what's going on? Listen, it's Keith Everett, Real Estate Diddy. I'm right here at the Simple Sexy Flipping Conference. I gave 10 ways on how to find off-market properties. If you're somebody trying to learn how to use the bank, find private money lenders, and knowing how you can fund the properties, you need to be here.
I would definitely recommend this event to anybody, especially if you're looking to get started in this business, because sometimes you just don't know where to go. And sometimes you don't know how to get started. And sometimes it could be the reverse. You got the motivation, but you don't have the education, or you have the education, you don't have the motivation. So sometimes it's being in certain rooms with certain people that'll kind of uplift you or inspire you or get you moving, get you thinking. But more importantly, this is the kind of room you want to be in, especially if you're a newbie.